Hello, hello. Good morning. Well, it's not morning anymore. It's 10. Oh, Lord. I'm crying. I'm shaking. I'm throwing up. Oh, God. I just finished taking my exam. Um, all right. Let's game for a little bit. Oh, geez. Uh, I can't believe it's over. It's over. I'm free. I'm finally free. Uh, oh, Lord. Oh, God. Hold on. Let me pull something up real quick. Um, the game is paused. Hold on. Let me all right, let me okay. Good. Couple of whew. Good. Okay. All right. Uh. Okay. You know what's crazy? I've been grinding at this Minecraft server for a while now. Let's see. Yeah, there's still a lot I gotta get through. Shit. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? All right. God. I can't lie. I was actually a little stressed. That was wild. That was actually wild. I was getting nervous. I was approaching the last couple of questions, or not last couple, but I was like I think I was in the last 20 questions, and I saw that I had less time than I did per question. Like average, I was behind on time, and I was like, "Fuck! There's no way." I think I was in question 80 something. I must have been on like 86, 85 or something like that, and I saw I had less time. I'm like, I said, no, I might not finish the last part of this exam. Yeah, I was I was a little stressed out. It was cool at the beginning. You know, I did lose a lot of time at the very beginning. I lost a lot of time. They gave us, I want to say it was an hour and 40 minutes to complete the exam. But as I was sorting through everything, I was like, wait, some of this stuff, I don't have some of this stuff in my notes. So I was going through the book, through the online book, the online book, the ebook or whatever they call it. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to sit here and look for this shit. So I lost a lot of time at the very start of the exam. But yeah, you know, if I would have gotten a stronger start, I think I wouldn't have been so stressed out by the end of it. But it wasn't until I want to say it wasn't until I was on question like 40, 42, something like that, that I started noticing that I was falling that I was falling behind on time. So, yeah. Oh no, immediately we get a bot in chat. Gah. Aaron, thanks for the follow. Unfortunately, you're a bot. But yeah, one of those bots that want the Discord ad, and then they want to sell you art, and then they want to offer you a deal, and they can make you customize art, but it looks horrible. Yeah. Alex. Yeah. T T T TP야 야 TP야 나는 너희 수트림 수트림 stream 수트림 streamer. I'm trying to pronounce this stuff. 보 보면세 정 정달 출 something. I'm cooked. Put you know, Alex, I'm sorry. I'm cooked. My brain is cooked. My brain is actually cooked. So I can't translate this. I can't read this right now. It's like do the smaller one. It looks like it says Ungdone? Something? I don't know. I mean, I could try it. It's gonna pause the game. I'm shaking. Translate? I don't know if I'm shaking because of the test or because I'm cold because I'm drinking this lemon. Boss 행동, bot behavior. Oh God, Jesus. Okay. Bot behavior is what it means. All right. I'm just gonna. I can't move. I can't move. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes, it was. Oh God, I can't believe I just kind of sent it on the exam. I tried to study before it. I did what? I got home. I did about 2 hours of preparation right before I started the exam. And so when I think when I sent the group chat the message is when I was like, okay, fuck it. I think this is as ready as I'm gonna be, because there was no real what's the word? Like there was no real way of knowing what was gonna be on the exam. All it said was it was gonna cover literally the entire book. And yeah, I mean it only made sense that it was you know, I was gonna need the textbook. So I did have the textbook open while I was taking the exam. It didn't say I couldn't use it. So, but it was more just the challenge of shifting through. I was hoping maybe the exam would be in order from chapter 1 through 16. But it wasn't. As soon as the first question came up, the very first question, I lost a lot of time on that question. I was like, oh fuck. I'm looking through my notes. I'm looking through my previous results, and I'm like, fuck. Why? I'm like, this question seems, I recognize this question, but I can't find it. So immediately I was like, oh fuck, it's not in order of the textbook. And yeah, I was just yeah, I was a little caught off guard, but yeah, it's all right. I finished it. I'm shaking. I am shaking. You know what it felt like? I've recently been watching I've been trying to watch some like anime shows while I'm cooked. I've been awake just watching anime shows since I can't sleep. And it feels like when the student is sitting in school and actually struggling to take the exam. It's like they make it a big deal and they're just sitting at the desk and they're like, oh no, and they have their head in their hands and they're like sweating and like, yeah, it felt like that. I wasn't too, I mean, to be honest, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't too hard, but it was tough. Shaking like a chihuahua, just slightly. I think it might just be my my anxiety was starting to get to me. When I saw the time crunch that I was in is when I started slightly freaking out. I think you could hear it in my voice right now as I'm talking. But yeah, like I said, I got to I was ahead of time because they gave me an hour and 40 minutes. So I was, and it was 100 questions. Each question worth 2 points. So I'm like, okay, I have an extra 40 minutes. So I could take a little bit longer on a couple questions, right? And so, you know, I was fine, but when I got to the 40s, when I got in the 40s range, is when I started seeing that the time was catching up to the amount of questions I had left. And yeah, by the time I made it to the 80s, I was already behind on time. I was I think I had 20 or something questions left, and I was already down to like 15 minutes. I said, no, fuck. I said, there's less than I have to average less than a minute per question now. But I will say, as the exam started getting into the later stages, the questions started getting simpler. So I don't know if that was by design, but yeah, I was slightly getting nervous there at the end. I'm like, oh fuck, I might not finish this fucking exam. Well, I mean, so what happens is it'll close out the exam, or it'll tell you you're out of time, and it'll grade you on what you did submit. So finish, I was gonna finish in some capacity, but finish the entire exam, I wasn't. I thought I wasn't going to, but like I said, right at the end, it started giving me simpler questions, like literally one-line questions, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then you know, like the questions would like just be an obvious answer. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So somehow I managed to catch up the time to the questions. By the end of it, I'm like, okay, I can. This is an easy one. This is an easy one. And then I would see the scenario ones, and I'm like, no, damn it. So I'm sitting there reading the entire thing because it's a script, and I'm like, what? But yeah, like I literally, guys, I'm not even exaggerating. I finished. I hit the submit button with only 16 seconds left. Out of an hour and 40 minutes, I only had 16 seconds to spare. Ugh. Okay. Jeez. This has been by far my favorite class of my entire schooling, recent schooling. International business has been super cool to learn about, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. So Oh shit, you passed your exam? Nice shit, bro. Yeah, thank you. Oh my god, Blue, I think my anxiety is still kind of shot. I feel like I'm getting more anxious now that I finished taking it than I was when I was taking it. Like I said, I was starting to get a little nervous around the end of it. I think it's the fact that I finished that my head just kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm still elevating. Oh. Oh. I tried, man. I tried hard. I really tried. Uh. But yes, we passed the exam. We finished the overall semester with a B. Unfortunately, early in the semester, I started dropping, well, not started, but I dropped a couple of points because I didn't realize how the checks, the chapter checks were connected to the chapter. Like I thought you know, I would read the chapters and then try to memorize as much of it as I can, and then take the quizzes. But I didn't realize that they were literally the questions are literally inside of the textbook. Like not on a separate page, they're within the context of the chapter, right? Like the, you know, just the overall you know, as you read, you can literally find the question in the paragraphs word for word, almost damn near. So I was like, oh shit, okay. So it wasn't until a couple modules in, a couple weeks in, that I was like, oh. And so I think if you look at my grades, you start to see more perfect scores. But initially I was dropping points per assignment. And then there was one night, oh, you sound like my brother after he did his thing. He was questioning some things and then he just went to sleep. Yeah. It's just, I'm not even questioning it. It's just the fact that I did it, you know? I did it. I feel sick. I actually kind of feel sick. It feels like I was holding my breath that entire time. I just realized. Yeah, it feels like I was holding my breath the entire time. And now that the fight's over, now I'm like, oh, it's hitting me. So I could have been doing this all along. Yeah, true. But no, so there was a night, I think it was the night that me, Cody, Alex, Yulisa, and another person had a cookout at their house. And I was doing homework while we were having the cookout. I believe this was that night. And I actually ended up running out of time for my writing assignment that week. So it was, you know, normally the writing assignments weren't too bad, but when I got home and actually opened it, because I had taken a glance at it and I was like, oh, okay, you know, it doesn't look too difficult, but it was like super quickly that I looked at it. When I got home, I didn't realize that it was a 2-part fucking writing assignment. Boo, you should tax your friends? Yeah. Give them -5 booms, I should. But yeah, I got home and I saw that they wanted 2 separate parts. They wanted a written part, and then they wanted us to do the second part as a PowerPoint presentation, a video recording, or something in a different format. I said, what? I had actually already reached out to the instructor asking him for extra time, and he said, yeah, I'll give you an extra day. Just message me when you finish the assignment and turn it in, and you know, I'll grade it. But it wasn't until I finally sat there to do it that I saw that it was 2 parts to the assignment, and he wanted 2 different formats, and I was like, what? I'm not doing this. I only have less than a day to do it, because I had just gotten home from work, and I believe I had to work that night. So I was like, I'm not gonna have enough time to do both formats and get this thing right. So ultimately, I just didn't do the assignment, and I was worried that was gonna weigh heavy on my grade. So I took a major L there. I got a 0 out of 70. That written assignment was worth 70 points. Mind you, this final exam was worth 200 points. So 70 is a decent amount of points for a writing assignment. So I did drop 70 points for free. You know. You should be good. No, I am good. I simulated the final scores because I have to wait till Saturday for him to finish grading everything. But putting in the scores myself, because it lets you like make a scenario out of your points, and it'll give you like your grade or what. So I put in the last 2 assignments. Well, the final exam is already graded, but my discussion still needs to be graded. So I gave myself like half credit for that discussion just to see what if I didn't get full credit, what I would end up with. I'm still ending the overall semester. I'm ending with a B. So even though I dropped that one assignment and I dropped points on every assignment for the first couple or 3 weeks of the semester, I collected enough points to finish with a B. I would have been even, I would have been okay if like, oh fuck, I finished with a C, but I still passed. You know what I mean? Because I was a little worried from all the points that I dropped earlier. But thankfully, with a really strong push here at the end, I finished the semester with a B. So. Oh God. I think I'm starting to come down. Yeah, I think I'm starting to relax just a little bit. My head's still kind of like, I really feel like I just went to war or something. But I think I'm starting to settle down a little bit. Ugh. What are monsters nearby? Where? Yeah, man, it's been a tough, I'll be honest, I guess that now is a good time for a reflection on recent times, but it's been, where are the monsters? I don't see the monsters. Where? But it's been a tough semester, I'll be honest. And not because of school itself, but everything that's been going on outside of school has been incredibly distracting. Or yeah, distracting is the best word I could use, I guess. As most of you guys probably know, I did end up breaking up out of my relationship in the midst of the semester, so that was tough to deal with. And obviously that kind of sent me in a little bit of a spiral. You know. But yeah, that was one of the bigger challenges that I had this semester, was just, dealing with that whole thing and dealing with my mental health and stuff, and stuff like that. I told my coworkers, but the ladies that I like to sit with during break, I told one of them, because the other one was on vacation, but I told her, I'm like, I have to be honest. Unfortunately, I feel like I've been drinking a little bit too much, and I'll be honest, I've been drinking for the purpose of, trying to suppress my emotions there. I don't get drunk. I've never been hungover or anything like that, but I was definitely picking up the bottle just for the sake of not feeling like myself, kind of thing. And so, yeah, I told her, I'm like, yeah, I'm not proud of it. I'm a little, if anything, I'm disappointed that's kind of my excuse. I can't sleep. This is just like in real life. Why can't I sleep? But yeah, I did my best to pull myself out of it. I'm not gonna lie, maybe yesterday or earlier today, for some reason I feel like I'm back in the dumps. It's hard. It's hard, I'll be honest. Just recently I kept saying that I'm in a really good mood, in a better headspace and stuff. And suddenly today, I don't feel, or today and yesterday, I started not feeling well again. So yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster. I've been on a bit of a roller coaster. Like I said, I do feel all right though. I feel okay, but yeah, I don't know why today I kind of had a little bit of a drop. But you know, we're still here. We're still kicking. We're fighting. Little worried because this next week I am laid off. I will be out of work for a confirmed work week. The rumor has it that it's almost all but confirmed that we will be out for 3 weeks. And then there are new rumors saying that we might be out all the way until summer shutdown, which is not until June. I'm praying that none of that is true. 3? Yeah. This is supposedly coming from a credible source. That we will be out for 3 weeks. They have nothing left but to publicly validate that. Is what I'm hearing, but fucking sucks. Yeah, it does. Just as you know, we've been doing pretty good all year. You know, I haven't had a layoff all year myself. But now because of the tariffs and stuff, yeah, we are now finding ourselves in a bit of a pinch with products. Currently, the current situation is Ford is running out of it's called a special metal product that's mainly produced out of China. We import it from China, but because the tariffs have been going on and stuff, we now find ourselves running out of that. At least Ford is, because Ford is the one using it, you know. And because we're running out of it, yeah, that's why we're getting laid off. Don't believe them? Break in? Yeah, right. Guess we are starting an OnlyFans? Yeah. Never. I'm not all that to look at. Your hours anyways? Yeah, I've been trying to get my hours. I stayed today a little bit later. I actually got off not early. It wasn't a big difference, but I got off earlier than some of the others. But I ended up walking over to them and saying, "Hey, anybody want to go home?" And the lady, she's like, "Yeah, I'll go home early." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take over for you." So she went home and I stayed in her place, trying to get a little bit more hours. Actually, I hate that I can't fucking sleep. Where the fuck are the monsters at? I literally don't see this monster that's keeping me awake. But yeah, so that's what we're hearing is it will potentially be 3 weeks that we have no work. I keep telling everybody not to lose faith. I've been telling them, 3 weeks is a long time for Ford not to be producing what they need to be producing. That's a lot of lost money for Ford not to produce anything. So I doubt that they're gonna sit there with their arms crossed, waiting on the tariff situation to change. From what I heard, they are already in talks with a domestic supplier to at least try to get us something for us to continue running. So yeah, I really hope it's not 3 weeks. But you never know. We have to wait and see until we get there. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it is the automotive industry, and it's very volatile kind of thing. So yeah, you just kind of can't predict these things. So yeah. So yeah, I'm a little worried. But I'm trying to keep my head, you know what I mean? Is your dad going to be good? No, he's even more worried than I am, actually. yeah, he's even more worried than I am. His shift was already laid off as it is. Actually, this week A shift was laid off. We thought it was only going to be the one shift for the 1 week, but now they've confirmed that all 3 shifts will be laid off for this following week. So he's already on his 2nd week out. He's actually been working with a different shift. He's been working with C shift. So that he can get his hours. But yeah, technically he should have been out for 2 weeks at this point. You know what I mean? But he has been working his getting his hours from a different shift. It just sucks because he has to change his schedule for it. He only works mornings Monday through Thursday. He's had to work nights these last couple of whatever. So yeah, he has to get used to that and stuff. But yeah. So yeah, it's again, it's just the automotive industry and these tariffs, this political climate is not helping the situation. But yeah, it's just we just kind of got to roll with the punches. I guess I could look for something else, but I'm in the middle of trying to get my degrees and stuff, my schooling done and stuff. So it's that kind of thing. Yeah, Alex with the emojis. But yeah, man, I mean that's the whole reason why we're working hard on trying to finish school and trying to be something better ourselves. You know what I mean? I could only dream of one day being salary and not having to worry about layoffs and stuff like that. Because like at Lear, right? Whenever we get laid off, salary's still working. Salary still has to show up during their regular hours, even if nothing's going on. They still have to show up. So if I was on salary, I wouldn't have to worry about, oh, am I, do we have hours this week? Do we not have hours this week? I still have to show up. Come to my job, work with me, I would, but I don't want to come and then go because, eventually we get called back to Lear. You know what I mean? Ooh. But yeah, it's just one of those things. So it's hard. It's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't is how I'm feeling. And I definitely feel very damned. So, it is what it is. I kind of just had to try to survive. Like I said, hopefully it doesn't get as bad as they're rumoring it to get. But yeah, hopefully we'll be all right. On salary? No, I'm not on salary. I'm hourly. Yeah. I believe I'm currently making 22 an hour. It's not anything crazy, but it's enough for me to survive. I get paid 22 an hour, and anything over 40 hours is time and a half. So whenever I am over 40 hours, I'm getting paid 33 an hour. When I do double time, I'm getting paid 45 an hour. And I tend to work whenever I get to work Mondays is a full shift, right? Getting paid $45 an hour for 10 hours at a time. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Overtime makes a big difference at Lear. So it's that helps me stay afloat and ahead. Not just afloat, but ahead. But yeah, no, I'm not salary. I'm definitely hourly. By August this year, I should be at 25, I believe. 24.75, I think. And then by the end of next year, I'll be at $28 an hour. Base pay 28. So just under $30 an hour. The thing is, I have to get to next year, or I have to get to the raise by late this year, mid to late this year is when it's August. It's in August when we get our raises, so contractually. So Yeah. These hours are cooking me. Yes, they are, brother. Yes, they are. Literally, you know, like I said, I'm scheduled 6 to 6, 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. You know, 6 a.m. You know what I mean? So it's nice, but you know, when we stay all night, we're working 12 hours overnight. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. You know, we kind of sacrifice. We literally sacrifice ourselves for our pay. Yay, 30 an hour, gets laid off. Yeah, exactly. And that's us, you know what I mean? The people at Ford are making way more than we are. Some of the people at Ford are getting paid 40, 45 an hour. But that's because they're the parent company. We're a supplier to the parent company, you know? So it's just one of those things, but yeah. But yeah, man, I'm trying my best. I really am. I you know, I've had this little form of I don't know, depression going on about me. Something, you know what I mean? Mentally, I'm just kind of in a weird place. Some days I'm in a good, like I said earlier this week, I've been saying that I'm in a good mood. And then like yesterday and today, I'm kind of, I feel myself deflating. I was told Ford doesn't pay enough for what they do. Most likely. I mean, yeah, I'm sure people over there will say they're getting underpaid, even though they're getting paid pretty well. I'm sure they would argue that they're getting underpaid. And they probably are. I've never worked at Ford. I've been to Ford. I've delivered parts to Ford, you know, but I've never seen what they actually do entirely. So but yeah, like I said, you know, I've been trying to work on my mental health and stuff, but it hasn't been easy. Like today, you know, as much as I was feeling slightly deflated, you know, I sat here and I said, I'm like, no, I gotta lock in for this exam, because if I don't lock in for this exam, I'm never going to get to where I want to be, or I'm never going to be who I want to be. So, you know, I really try to lock in for this exam and the grade and stuff. And yeah, man, I'm fighting for it. I you know, I have to say it. I'm really fighting for who I fucking want to be. You know what I mean? I'm tired of not being enough. You know what I mean? Like I hate feeling like I'm not good enough, or like I'm just being overlooked. You know what I mean? Or undermined, or you know, undercredited, right? But I feel like I'm so much more than what people see me as, and so I've had that little flame inside of me as a motivation. And yeah, I've been trying, man. I've been working hard at it. You know, and sometimes I worry because I feel like I start to show me falling apart at the seams to my friends, and I really don't like doing that. I don't like doing that, but I can't help it sometimes. You know, I can't help but you know, it's obvious sometimes when I'm kind of starting to you know, fall apart, I think. But when I tell you that it's a fight for me, you know what I mean? It really is a fight. You know, I really have been fighting. So I'm doing my best. I am. I'm working hard at it. I just want to be good enough. You know, someday people will see, you know, see me for what I can be, and you know what I actually am. I'm more than just a loser. I'm being serious. Maybe you guys think I'm just having a pity party, but I do feel like a loser most of the time. So I'm more than just that, man. I can do this. And I'm going to take over. Something that is funny is I always get Ford ads and they claim to be the best car company to work and drive, and y'all are saying this. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's just advertisement. You know what I mean? And trying to keep their business alive and shit. But yeah, Ford BS. Yeah, a lot of things is trash. But yeah, man. I uh I never mind. No, I'll keep it to myself. Is it nighttime yet? I mean, the trucks aren't bad. Yeah, a lot of people actually like the trucks. To be honest, but that's really about it for the Ford has going for them. uh, for Ford is just no. For the trucks and Mustang, yeah, sure, the Mustang. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. I actually broke through most of this. Am I? Yeah, I'm digging this up. I'm putting wood in it. Would it be wrong for me to say I don't miss visiting or staying with my family? No, it wouldn't be wrong. You're young, and you're probably experiencing independence a little more strongly as now that you're, growing up and stuff. So, no, I don't think you're wrong for that. My dad recently pointed out he pointed out that he's noticed that I haven't been home too much lately, on the weekends and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just all over the place. You know what I mean? I'm like, just kind of out and about. He's like, no. He's like, if anything, I'm glad to see that, to a point. He's like, I'm glad to see that you're not home. He's like, cause he's like, you've actually changed quite a bit from when you used to live here. He's like, when you used to live here at home. He's like, you used to be locked up in your bedroom all day. He's just the only time you would come out is when it was time for you to eat. He's like, but you'd be in your room all day, either playing guitar all day, or he's like, I would hear you talking and stuff, which was probably me streaming. But he's like, yeah, you would just stay locked up in your room all day. He's like, I'm happy to see that you're finally getting out and about and doing, things that make you happy and stuff like that. He's like, and that I noticed that change ever since you moved into your own house. Ever since you bought your own house, you've started letting, your wings carry you, kind of thing. You be bringing the baddies home? No. No, not that. I kind of, I think I said this on a stream before, yeah, I said this on the stream before, but I'm currently not thinking about girls or relationships or anything like that. I'm kind of not interested in any of that. I did, like, at work, especially recently, I did have a couple people being a little funny to me. A couple girls. Oh, your dad? Oh, no, not my dad. My dad can't move on from my mother. Yeah, he just, when my mother passed, he just doesn't have it in him to want to move on. Is that low-key? Yeah. And I like I said, I feel like I'm in a similar place where I'm like, I don't really, want to deal with that kind of stuff. W low, man, low key, yeah. He's my mother means a lot to him. Not that she wouldn't if he did, you know what I mean? If he did decide to take on someone new or someone different, I wouldn't blame him, you know what I mean? Like, we're human, you know what I mean? And it's perfectly normal to feel like you need companionship here and there, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be upset with him if he ever decided to try, dating or something. My mom's gonna come and haunt me. She's gonna come and pull my hair in my sleep. But yeah, so yeah. I mean, it is. But like he's widowed now. You know what I mean? So he doesn't have a wife technically because she passed away. So like my granddad, when my grandmother passed away, he ended up remarrying. You know what I mean? And so when he did end up remarrying and getting with the person he ended up being with, some of his kids, my uncles and aunts, were really, really upset with him. They were really, really upset with him. They couldn't see him for a while, and they couldn't respect his partner, and they would avoid him if she was around. They would not talk to him if she was around. They wouldn't even come out if they knew she was gonna be there. It was that kind of thing. It was that kind of animosity. You know what I mean? Because they were just upset that my granddad remarried. Would you want him to try getting out more, or does he already have his little group and they just hang out? He's got friends. He's got his own little group of friends. I will say he has been seeing I don't want to call it dating, but he has been hanging out with a couple of people, a couple of ladies. You know what I mean? I don't know if he considers it dating. Like they're also like one of them he met at the cemetery. Cause she's widowed too. Her husband passed away. And then they kind of just clicked, and they just hang out and stuff. And they go out to eat a lot. They go out to hang out and stuff. He'll be in places that I've never known him to be in. Cause she'll drag him out to that way kind of thing. But yeah. Your dad has fan squirrels? I guess you could say that. Here's the thing, though. And obviously, it's not just us. Obviously, it's a normal thing. But like my granddad was a known pimp. Like he was a known player kind of thing. Unfortunately, right? There was always talks of my granddad being unfaithful to my grandmother, which is actually one of the reasons why my aunts and uncles can't look at our what would be my step grandmother, because when they were young or whatever, there was already speculation that my grandpa was cheating on my grandmother with that lady. And so when they got married after my grandmother passed away, that resurfaced, and they were saying, I don't know if it's true, I don't know if it's not. To be honest, it's not my business. It's their, they have their own lives. They did what they did. They know what they know. It's none of my business. You know what I mean? I can't opinionate on it or whatever, but it's really not my specific place to say anything. You know what I mean? So I kind of, whatever it is that they got going on, that's them. You know what I mean? But yes, my granddad was known to be a player. My dad was a suave in his young days. My dad was the best way for me to say it is my dad was a lady killer. Yeah. And my mother would always be upset because my dad are you suggesting your dad might be a pimp? My dad, he never failed. A ladies' man, yes. My dad never failed to have a lady around him. You know what I mean? Like he'd be in public and the ladies would recognize him and see him and they'd be like, "Oh my God, Juan, hey!" And they would run up to him and hug him and stuff. And my mother would be right there and she would get upset. She'd get super upset, but it never felt that he would have a lady clinging off of him. You know what I mean? He knows how to talk to girls, probably. And then so like I said, and then I look at my siblings, like especially my youngest brother Peter. That guy, he's a I'd say he's a good looking guy. You know what I mean? And so you know, there was a couple jobs that we had where we worked together, and yeah, the girls would always be like, "Oh my god, he's so cute," or he's a cute guy, or he's, it never failed. He always had a girl's attention. That guy cannot be single. Actually, that guy does not know how to be single. So it's obviously it doesn't, it's not a rare thing, you know what I mean? But I will say, like, those little characteristics, those little traits seem to run with us. I myself, I'm not gonna say I'm a ladies' man, but it's not hard. You know what I mean? It's not hard to be smooth if you want it to be. You know what I mean? I just I prefer to be myself, kind of thing, and that's all. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. I like how you say that, like you weren't pimping. I wasn't, though. I wasn't, and I'm not. One of the things, like I said, like recently, there's been a couple of girls at work that have been being kind of funny towards me. But I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? You just have fan squirrels? This motherfucker has stories like every day? No. Like I'm at a point right now where I'm just not buying any of it. You know what I mean? Like I hear the way they talk to me. I hear the things they say to me. I see the way they look at me, and I'm just not buying it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've just become so disinterested. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing. But I feel like I've just become so disinterested these days. This man was off the honey pack before the honey pack was a thing. No. I don't use that kind of stuff. Talking shit. You sicko. What the fuck? You're sick. You're actually sick. No, I don't use any of that stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things where, unfortunately, I'll be honest, I think I'm actually just getting jaded. I'm actually just getting jaded, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's a bad thing, but I'm getting sick of romance, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting sick of relationships, I'm getting sick of love, I'm getting sick of catching feelings. Like I'm actually just kind of getting tired of it in general. You know what I mean? Like, there is not a single person that I'm interested in these days. Not a single one. So, that's just kind of where I am right now. So, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. I don't care. Honestly, I kind of feel that. I recently had a thing, but I don't know. Yeah. I think. So, here's what you have to understand about me, right? Sure, maybe I have fish soup for lunch. I'm the reason the lunchroom smells like fish today. You're that person. Oh no, Alex. But yeah, it's one thing to just mess around and be single and enjoy single life. But when it comes to actual relationships, my guys, I have legitimately struggled. I have suffered when it comes to relationships. And I guess that's everyone, right? That's everyone who will find themselves single or whatever. You know, obviously if you're single, it means that whatever you had did not work out, right? But man, when I tell you that I have just struck out time after time after time with my relationships, yeah, it's just one of those things that for whatever reason I can't get right. I can't get it right. And so these few bad experiences that I've had, I'll be honest, they've kind of just killed me. That's just actually the bottom line is they've kind of just killed me, man. I'm at the point where I'm just losing hope for genuine relationships. You know? And I hear it from my coworkers all the time. Oh, you're young, you'll find somebody, you're this or that or whatever. But it's just, you know, I don't know. I don't think I'll be lucky enough to find that, you know. I'm lucky dealing with the same problem. Yeah. It's tough, and you know, it's hard when, you know, you see other people. Well, no, I mean, I don't want to call it envy or jealousy, but you know, it's hard when I see other people just end up in really good situations. You know what I mean? And then there's me. That's what it feels like, right? You know, obviously, you know, there's bigger problems. Everyone has like real life issues and stuff like that, you know. But you know, it's a little discouraging when I see a lot of people having, you know, really good relationships and stuff like that, and I just can't seem to get it right. I can't. I always say this, but like, for example, like my siblings, you know what I mean? My parents, obviously they weren't perfect, but they, you know, they were married for over 30 years, you know what I mean? But yeah, my siblings, my friends, my coworkers, my whatever, you know, it's just, my schoolmates, you know, it's crazy to see everyone just kind of, everyone just kind of finds their little corner of the world, you know, and I can't help but sit here and say, damn, you know, what is that like? You know what I mean? And I've been trying to do self-reflection and asking girls what I did wrong so I can open up my eyes. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's really good, actually. I mean, I don't know if maybe you need to go to the girls and ask what's wrong, but self-reflection is huge, for sure. I've also been very, but I feel like I've always been very reflective of who I am. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about me. I really don't know what it is about me that I just can't figure it out. I can't figure out the equation. You know what I mean? Yeah, it kind of sucks. But you know, if it's not meant for me or you or anybody else, right? If it's not meant for us, I guess there's no fighting it. You know what I mean? There's just no fighting it. If it's just not meant for us, it's just not meant for us. You know what I mean? Just one of those things. You know, I guess not everyone's meant to find that. So, you know, it's just one of those things. You can't really do much about it, I guess. Because you are self-aware to things doesn't mean you can still make all the best their moves. Yeah. I mean, because even if you know, it all just comes down to what you actually do, what your actions actually portray, right? Or what you do. You know what I mean? Like how you actually behave. So you know, it's like you can know all of it, but if you don't do anything about it, it really doesn't make a difference if you're going to continue being the same person you've always been, right? And so, you know, in my experience, you know, with this past relationship that I just got out of, you know, previously I've never put in as much effort into a relationship as I did with this one. You know, and I know, you know, obviously it's not the end of the world, but it's one of those things where it's like, well, damn, you know, obviously you're just one girl, but it's like even when I try a little harder, or when I try to be a little more understanding, or you know, when I try to be more empathetic, right? I guess I still couldn't get it right. I still couldn't get it right. And it's like I said, it's discouraging. It really is. For me, it's like it's easy to pull and get into the first, second, and third phase of a relationship, but keeping a girl more than a couple of years is hard for me, and I honestly don't know why. Yeah, I mean, but see, you get years. I this has been my longest relationship, and we didn't even make it to 10 months. You know, it's you know, without being a woe is me, it's sad. It makes me sad. It really does make me sad. You can't take all the blame. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, you can't be, I guess you can't be fully responsible for a failure, but you know, at least in my situation, yeah, it makes me sad thinking about it. I've always said this. It's not just necessarily with romance, but I've always wanted to be part of something bigger. Me and Alex have actually had this conversation before. Like, for example, like with family, right? I've always wanted to be a part of a big family, and you know, a family that can get together, a family that can, you know, have good times together and stuff. But unfortunately, my actual family, you know, I can't, we can't come together. My relatives, my cousins, uncles, aunts, all have a form of animosity towards each other, right? I can't talk to my sister. I rarely get to talk to my brothers. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's, sure, I have a family, but it doesn't always feel that way. You know, and so when it comes to relationships, it's the same feeling. It's like, you know, it's just one of those things that it just feels like it's missing, right, for me. And so, like I said, I don't want to be woe is me, but I genuinely just feel like I can't escape this loneliness that I have. At least me personally, you know what I mean? Blue, I don't know if you ever feel that way, but yeah, there's a feeling of loneliness that I just can't shake. I don't know if I do it to myself, or if it's self-inflicted, or if it's a product of my environment or something. But yeah, it's just, I can't help but admit that I just feel super lonely all the time. It makes me feel like I guess I just don't belong with people. You know what I mean? Just one of those things. But yeah, I guess it's, you know, it's just one of those things. But I also think I get bored after as fuck after a year, and I'm not just looking for sex, but I'm trying to find someone who would want to do something big and not just live normal. I feel like everyone claims and says they want to do something big, but nobody is really trying to put in work, and even more at my age. Yes, and so for you, right? I feel bad for your people because you guys are younger, right? Your generation is shit. Your generation is garbage. I'm not gonna lie. Mine is too. But it feels like we're like the last of our generation in my age. You know what I mean? But oh my god, have I seen the morality and the ethics of the younger people just completely fly out the window. And of course, there are good people out there. There are good people your age and even younger than you, and you know, with their heads on straight and whatnot. But for the most part, your guys' generation is just actually fucked. You guys are just actually fucked, and it gets worse and worse as the years go by, as the newer generations are born, is what it feels like, you know. But yeah, you know, it's just, again, it's I don't know. I maybe I need to get rid of that idea in my head. Like I said, my parents were not perfect, but you know, I was raised with both of my parents, you know what I mean? And I was raised with the idea of, you know, marriage is a thing, you know, and it is important, and there is value to it in a sense, and there is a, you know, a spiritual or religious, you know, expression when you're married, you know, or with when you have a family and stuff like that. You know, so for me, it's a norm. It's a norm that existed in my household, but I obviously I can't seem to lay down the foundations for that. You know what I mean? Whereas my siblings have, you know, like I said, my brother already has his family, right? He has his daughter and stuff, and his girlfriend. My other brother wants to get married by the end of this year with his girlfriend, and they're looking to buy a house. He's actually texting me right now this morning, you know, about advice about looking for houses and stuff. And they've been together for a few years now, several years, right? So, you know, my sister's married. She's got her kid, right? And then there's me. You know, so it's yeah, like I said, it makes me a little sad when I sit here and think about it. It's like, well, what went wrong with me? What's wrong with me that I'm not good enough? You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't. Like I said, I can't lie. It makes me sad. But maybe I'm just hard to deal with, I guess. Maybe I just come with a lot of issues that, you know, I guess it makes me undeserving of it, you know? Truthfully, yeah, I think maybe ultimately I'm just undeserving of it. Yes, it's a very lonely life, this one I have. Not just, like I said, not just in terms of relationships, but in general, you know, in general, it's just a very lonely life that I have. I guess I don't need this. Well, I'll keep it there, I guess. Honestly, with the whole lonely thing, I think my mom and my family has liked closed off mindsets and just wants to be normal, and I usually like to be away from my family because I don't think or act the same way from my family, and I hang out with people who act and talk the same. Like recently, this big real estate broker really took me under his wing. I got to meet his whole family, flying me out traveling, and my mom has been jealous about it, and I'm like, how do I balance that? Yeah, but that's the thing though. In your case, you're presented with an opportunity. You know what I mean? And so if your mom happens to show a display of jealousy or envy, right? It to be honest, it's only natural for her to react that way. Because it could be because maybe she wants that for herself, or maybe she's jealous that she wasn't able to provide you with that, right? Instead of her being able to provide that, someone else is providing that. It's a lack of understanding. And so, you know, only you know your mother and your personal, you know, the way you guys live and your chemistry, right? But if there's anything I could try to say about it, you know, I'd say, you know, it's something that you yourself have to try to understand from her perspective. Whichever route it comes from, you have to try to understand it and be somewhat empathetic to it. Well, I mean, I guess you don't have to. No one's forcing you to do so. But for you to unlock your mind and open, you know, keep your heart open, it's just one of those things that you have to put yourself in her shoes, even though you can argue that she should be putting herself in your shoes. But you have to understand it. Who is better fit to understand these things? You know what I mean? And it's not a I'm better than mom or mom's better than me. It's by circumstance, I'm just better equipped to deal with these kinds of emotions than you are. That's all that is. Not everyone's equipped to deal with their emotions. I don't believe in blood bonds. I wholeheartedly believe in chosen family. Yeah, and to a point, I kind of do too. Like for Mother's Day, she's seen I was getting flowers because I was going to make her a vase and stuff. And she says that, what are you making that for? Your other mother? Yeah. But see, even if she says that, that doesn't matter if she says that. Because at the end of the day, even if she said that, she could believe that all she wants. When Mother's Day comes around, and when it's time for you to turn in your gift and you hand it over to her, that gift was made for nobody but your mother. Even if she believed otherwise, even if she mentioned otherwise or said something different, what she fails to understand is you, with your heart, went to the store and bought what you wanted to buy and made it by hand, right? And put it together by hand and turn it in with your heart. It doesn't matter what she says. She can't take that away from you. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like something my mom would say. Actually, I can see that. It can get annoying and it seems a little childish. Yeah, but again, what parent isn't annoying? You know what I mean? Like simply put, what parent isn't annoying? Just how they are. They're boomers. They're annoying. But we love them. She throws a fit if I happen to be around my aunts. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I'm sure she does the same with your sisters, yeah? Yeah, my ma is really annoying, but I like to annoy her, so it works. Yeah, it's just one of those things. And that's what I'm saying, you know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have all the answers, but let me, at least from my perspective, right? If I could give you guys some sort of perspective, like I said, I wasn't the perfect son, you know what I mean? I had my problems too, right? I had my issues with my parents too, and this or that or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is something that, you know, maybe you guys don't understand right now, but if you knew what it meant to lose someone that's been there for your whole life or most of your life or even just a part of your life, you know what I mean? But if you knew what it's like to lose that person that you kind of feel like they were always gonna be there, but suddenly they're not there anymore, I feel like you guys might think a little differently when it comes to things like our parents. You know what I mean? Even though my mother was abusive herself, right? And this or that or whatever, you know, guys, I mean, I'm being serious. I wish I still had my mother. You know what I mean? Even if she was annoying, even if she was abusive, even if she could have been toxic at times, even if this or that or whatever, you when it happens, and you have to, you realize that, you know, there's no turning back the clock. You know, it's just one of those things where, like, I feel like, yeah, I, to be honest, I'd give a lot away to, for a chance to get to see my mother again. You know what I mean? To be honest, I'd probably give it all away if I could get just a chance to see my mother again and talk to her, you know, and tell her, what's happened since she's left. You know what I mean? What have I achieved? What have I failed? What have I gotten right? What have I gotten wrong? You know what I mean? Just one of those things where I wish I could just sit and talk to her again. Parents will always be parents, you know what I mean? They'll always be annoying, but for those of us who are lucky to have someone somewhat consistent in our lives, yeah, you don't understand what it's like to not be able to have them anymore. I think she really got mad when I said, honestly, I'm trying to get more knowledge and learn, and I said, you live so normal, you don't push yourself. And I was like, I hang out with people who knows better because I feel like I already learned everything you had to offer. Yeah. And but see, here's the thing though, depending on how you deliver that message, it can obviously, it can be misconstrued or taken abrasively. I don't know, I might just be too hard-headed or something. Well, see, you're not alone though. I'm hard-headed. You know what I mean? Like, I can definitely be very hard-headed myself. It's just, you know, my advice to you, especially, like I said, I understand you're younger than I am, but you are an adult already. But one of the things that I like to, I said it almost exactly like that. Yeah. You know, one of the things that I try to do is I try, and I'm not perfect at it, and no one is, but you have to understand that even when you try to express yourself as clearly as you can, or if you think you're saying things correctly or the right way or whatever, it never fails that someone will just simply not understand the way you meant to transfer over the message. You know what I mean? To a point, you said nothing wrong, but it's the way maybe you say it, or in the timing that you say it, or the tone that you say it in, that will leave it open for discussion, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Tony's so hard-headed that he don't need a helmet. Yeah. I don't even think a bullet can get through his head. But yeah, it's just one of those things that you have to understand. You know what I mean? And so some things, people will have different opinions about this specific thing I'm about to say, but at some point, to me, what I've learned is some things are just better left unsaid. Right? And there's people who will argue, they will say, no, if I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it. Or if I feel a certain way, I'm going to say how I feel. And yes, that's fair. Everyone has the right to speak, right? But not even just for the sake of saving face or you know, not hurting somebody, but you mentally, when you get to a point where you could say, you know what, this just isn't worth saying. If I say this, it's going to come at an expense, at a cost that I just don't have the energy for. That's typically when you start to find that, I don't want to call it maturity, because you're not immature for not thinking that way, but it's a sense of, you know what, you've become, you know, aware of understanding not only yourself, but understanding other human interaction. You know what I mean? Other human behavior. All words, I steal your right to speak. Yeah. You silly goose. But yeah, it's just one of those things that, you know, when you can start to differentiate moments in which, you know, obviously when you get angry, right? When you get angry, it's easy. It's super easy to spew poison. You know what I mean? It's super easy to say something maybe you didn't mean, or say something in a way that you didn't mean to say it in, right? Maybe you had the right intention or the message, but you just said it wrong in the wrong time, in the wrong moment, you know, that kind of thing. You have to learn how to manipulate your words, or how to use your words, because it requires more than just syllables and symbols. You know what I mean? You seriously have to translate your words, even if it's in the same language. It's your tone, it's your phrasing, it's your attitude and your vocabulary, right? As well as the understanding of someone's interpretation of what they're hearing. Not everyone understands. Not everyone is capable of understanding. And you have to understand that. You have to understand that people will not receive your message all the time, no matter how hard you try to make it clear. Also, I think my mom is feeling away because I have never been one to need her attention or really talk to her, but she will see me online taking pictures with a big family, smiling, having a good time, and I barely do it with my actual family. And so that's the thing. At that point, that's out of your control. You can try to influence that feeling, that situation, right? Either get her involved, right? Get her more involved, or whatever, or, you know, influence her, inspire her to want to be more involved, right? But at that point, that's not up to you. You can try to influence her, but ultimately she's the one who maybe stays back or does not involve herself, or for whatever reason, right? I understand that's your mother. I mean, it'd be the same thing for me, but you simply just can't make someone be something they're not. And if your mother just isn't involved with family or bigger family or whatever, for whatever reason, you just can't make her that. And sure, she might make a face or be sour about it or this or that, but if she truly wanted to change that, she would change the way she approaches those situations. That's up to her at that point, not you. That's like the idea of trying to help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. Literally, the phrase of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. You know what I mean? Just one of those things. And for your sake, again, you can try to learn to understand that. You know what I mean? You can work on not letting that affect your personality or your attitude or your mental, right? You know, yeah, mom's giving an attitude, yeah, mom's this or that, but you shouldn't let that ruin your day. If you're letting it ruin your day, then it means that you're not understanding the idea of being able to let things that are out of your control go. I'll make the horse drink water. It won't like it, but I'll shoot water up its ass. You sicko. The thing is, when I was younger, I was a big mama's boy, and then she kind of pushed me away and was abusive, and I'm like, you wouldn't think she would kind of be the one chasing me. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. Like I said, I know you're young. You'll see that life just goes back and forth. It goes back and forth. Time changes people, for better or worse. When I tell you, I've said this, I believe I've said this on stream. I've definitely said it to my friends. I've definitely said it to Alex. But, you know, and I don't like, even for as often as I say it, I don't like saying it because it exemplifies him in a certain way. But I guess it's the truth, right? But my dad had a lot of issues when we were younger. My dad, if you guys knew my dad when, you know, a decade or two ago, you guys would not even recognize his behavior to what it is now. You know what I mean? But it's crazy because time, right? Time changes people. And so my dad's been through all the things he's been through, and he suffered through all the things he suffered through, which ultimately changed who he is. It took him going through all of that to finally wake him up. You know what I mean? And I don't mean this in a horrible way, but it's deserved. What the things that he went through, the things that he brought upon himself or upon the people that were his loved ones or whatever, he deserves it. For better or worse. It's what he earned himself. You know what I mean? You want to be a certain kind of person, you'll get what you deserve. For better or worse. If you're a good guy, you'll get good things. If you're a bad guy, you'll get bad things. Everyone's on their own course of learning what it means to be alive. What it means to be who they are. Your mother's currently going through that. You're going through that. I'm going through that. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that everyone runs at their own pace. That's literally what it comes down to. Maybe you might find that you're running faster than your mother. And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. We clearly all of us have a different mind from the other. Whether even if you're somebody's child, your brain is not exactly like your parents. Your brain is not a 50-50 of mom and dad. You are your own individual person with your own individual mindset and strengths and weaknesses to thinking and understanding. What it comes down to is, like I said, I'll repeat it. You have to learn to understand other people. And when you're able to, if you're ever able to learn to understand that, you'll see that a lot of the times, things that we feel like anger or frustration or resentment start to feel a little unnecessary, I guess. It's your mom's first time living too. Yeah, first and only time. It's all of our first and only time living. You know, she's trying to figure it out just the same way you're trying to figure out how to be an adult. She's trying to learn how to raise a kid. You might be grown, but you're still her kid. You know what I mean? It's just you're a kid in a different stage of your life, but you're still her kid. You'll always be her kid. Even when she's gone, you'll always be her kid. Even if you're gone, you'll always be her kid. You know what I mean? They're just trying to figure it out the same fucking way we've been trying to figure it out. And that's something that's one of the reasons why I've been able to appreciate my dad even more, especially after my mother passed away. But it's one of those things where now that I'm older, I can sit here and say, damn, Dad, why didn't you tell me this is what life was like? I see why you're tired, Dad. You know, I see why you get out of bed super slow and why you limp to the bathroom and why you know, drop things and why you forget where you're at and why you fall asleep the moment you sit on the couch. You know what I mean? I get it, Dad. I get it now. This life is tiring. What's that? You're not feeling well? Yeah, I miss Mom too. You know what I mean? I feel it now. I understand it now. When I was younger, I didn't. When I was younger, I didn't care to understand. I get it now. I don't know. I'm sure I kind of did it to myself. Also, I said something in the lines of like, we get up abusive with all your boyfriends beating on you and putting us in and out of shelters, and you barely got on your feet when I was 13. And I said, it seems like I did more for myself in the 2 years that I've been on my own than you have done for me my whole life. I felt bad, but I don't know. But see, if you said it, that's because that's how you feel. And to a point, you might be right. You know what I mean? You might have done more for yourself in the 2 years than she's done her whole life. But again, yeah, you can blame her, and you can blame her abusive boyfriends that she's picked out over the years and stuff like that. But the most important thing is that ultimately, you're deciding to make a difference in your life. Might just not be grateful, or me being a brat, and that's okay, brother. Listen to me. That's okay. You know what I mean? If you're a brat now, we all have our bratty moments, or we all become ungrateful. Listen, look, and I don't want to say this just because it sounds, you know, like more than it is or whatever. But look, if I can have this heart to heart with you right now, brother, I'll say this again, and I hate to have to say this out loud because I normally don't like sharing it, but my guy. I'll be straight up with you. I have been struggling with suicidal mindsets for a long time now. And you know what that comes down to? Ultimately, it comes down to the fact that I'm ungrateful for this life. That's really just what it comes down to. Is that even though I have uncovered some questions and some answers and this or that, ultimately, it still means that I still haven't learned to fully appreciate what it means to be alive. And that's okay. That's low-key real. It is. I can't hide from my truth. I don't like it. I don't like sharing it with everybody, but I can't hide from it. It's just who I am. It's something I struggle with. I struggle with it hard. You know what I mean? Like when I tell you that some of these days I've literally sat here and thought of just turning myself in. You know what I mean? Like forget therapy, forget whatever. I seriously have thought about just going to the hospital and saying, "Hey guys, I'm not okay. I'm sick. I'm scared though. I'm scared to do it." But yeah, I'll be honest, these days I've been thinking about that. What if I just fucking call him and just say, "Guys, I need help." But I make it my mission to keep fighting for myself first. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things that it's okay, Blue. It's okay because you're human just like I am. Just like your mother is. We're human, whether we like to admit it or not. We can't hide the fact that we feel and that sometimes we can't control how we feel. But you're allowed to do that because you're human. You're allowed to throw a tantrum. You're allowed to get angry. You're allowed to get sad or cry or smile because you're a human. It's your birth-given right for the fact that you're fucking human. You know what I mean? I feel that you struggle with it, but you don't want to be labeled as just a motherfucker who might end it all in the blink of an eye. Exactly. It's hard. It's hard for me to keep fighting. You know what I mean? I've said this before. Every day feels like a fight for me. Can I be honest with you? Right now, you guys just heard me turn on my stream and I was celebrating me getting a good score on the exam. But you know what just happened to me? I crashed already. I was so relieved that I took my exam and that I did good with it and that I got a good grade and that I'm finishing the semester with a B. But guess what? I already crashed. You guys, I don't have the camera on, but guys, for a second I sat here and said, okay, I mean you did it, but are you any better? I'm not gonna lie. I wrote the super high. You know how at the start of the stream I was saying I was feeling like I was getting more anxious. But I was up there and I feel like I've already hit the ground. I got my grade. I got my good score. I finished the semester and now I feel sad. Right now I feel kind of down. I'll be honest. But that's okay, cause I'm human. Clearly I'm fucking bipolar or something. I don't know. I guess I'm just depressed, but it's just, I don't know why I can't smile with my victory. But I did it, I can say that. I did it. I achieved something that I wanted to achieve. I accomplished it. I can say that. You get that, low-key? Yeah. Just one of those things, But like I said, we're all in the process of trying to figure this life out. And you are too. If I remember correctly, what, you're 19, 20 years old, you said? 21? You're young still. You're super young still. You got a good score and all this shit, but it didn't make an impact right now, and you don't know if it will help in the future, so you're like, I got here, but what now? It was just a score. It didn't change anything. You just turned 19 today? No way, you're kidding. Happy birthday, Blue. Happy birthday. But yes, no, seriously. Look. Again, only because we're having a genuine conversation right now. And please do not worry about me. But I'm not gonna lie. When I crashed a little bit ago, those bad thoughts came into my head again. The Sudoku thoughts. the chop suey thoughts came into my head just a second ago. You know what I mean? Like if you go back in the stream, I started with the celebration, and in the midst of it, inside my head, while I'm live, right, those thoughts started creeping into my head. I was up. You know what I mean? I was up and now I crashed hard already. It feels like another day. Yeah, I mean, it could feel like another day. Again, everyone reacts to certain things differently. But yeah, if you celebrate it, like I said, happy birthday. You know what I mean? And I wish you a successful year, a happy year, or a year of growth. You know what I mean? Even if it's not happy or perfect, I wish you a year of growth. You know what I mean? And you've been doing you've been here for years, man. For people who don't know, Blue has been in this chat since he was fucking 15, 14? You've been stopping by for years now. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say I've watched you grow up, but I definitely have seen you go through little stages of your life. You've been awesome enough to share that with me, and I don't know you. I've never met you. I don't know you personally, but I mean, I love to see that you're getting yourself together. It makes me happy to see that. It genuinely does. You know what I mean? I love seeing that. Unfortunately for you, you still have a lot left to go. And so do I, to a point. So honestly, I have those thoughts also, but I don't know if we'll just take a shower, play music, have the hotline, so I won't do something done to myself. Yeah. I mean, distraction. Distraction. I just can't seem to get those out of my head. I have told my best friend, I don't know, hopefully it doesn't worry him. But you know, if I can be honest, I'm afraid I'm going to lose that battle someday, guys. And if for whatever reason I do, I hope everyone at least remembers that I gave it my best. You know what I mean? And I hope nobody, you know, resents me if I ever lose that battle. I tried, man. I did. I'm gonna keep fighting though. Obviously, I'm gonna keep fighting, and I'm still fighting. But I don't know that I'll end up winning this fight. And I'm sorry if I don't. Since he was born? Yeah, he's been in chat. He's been in chat since he was born. For a long time now? Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you have been here for a while. And I'm glad. And I don't mean this lightly. I'm glad to still see you sticking around and stuff and coming by. And I truly do appreciate you stopping by whenever you do. You know what I mean? It's awesome to get updates from you and see how you're doing. You know? And I love hearing that you're getting yourself together. Yeah. I'll only accept it if you're like 99 years old. Alex, I pray I don't have to be here that long. I pray I don't have to be here till I'm 99. I wouldn't even be here that long for money if I was bribed for it. Yeah, I really hope I'm not here that long. I barely think I don't know if I'll make it to the end of this year. It's like after the distraction doesn't work, what am I supposed to do now besides go back shit crazy? Start breaking shit and do some dumb stuff. Yeah. I tend to I try. I mean I try to find a quick fix, right? Or anything. But yeah, sometimes I run out of options, kind of thing. Because I have talked to this older guy and I asked him, does life ever get better? And he was like, nah. I'm just like thinking, like, what am I still doing? No, seriously. No, you know what? To a point, it does get better, depending on you. And it really does depend on you. Listen, there's people out there, right? And this is not an exaggeration, it's actually real. There's people out there like the homeless, right? Who, regardless of their situation, they find any little reason to give a smile. And they might not have much, if anything at all. But I've watched interviews where they say, you know what, I'm just glad I woke up today. Bro, if all of us could learn to understand what that means, coming from someone like that, I'm just glad I woke up today. If we knew how powerful those words are, so it really just comes down to you. Does life get better? I don't know. You decide. You know what I mean? In this very moment, life can be horrible or it could be amazing. That's up to you to decide that. And it's not even something you can do, right? Like, oh, if I do this, then it's good. If I do that, then it's bad. No, it's your mentality. It's your perspective of it. You know what I mean? Like it's up to you to decide whether you're happy or not. Like I said, the homeless person is happy. They might not be proud of their situation, but they're glad they woke up today. Because they easily couldn't have. And imagine that. You're someone who lived with nothing, and now that you're dead, you are nothing. So yes, they wake up grateful. And look at us, spoiled beyond their means, and we can't learn to be happy with our situations. This is another personal thing that I can share. For those of you who might not know, because I don't think not everybody sees it, but I actually have a physical deformity in my arms, which is why I look funny sometimes when I do things. But I have a physical deformity in my arms. I was born this way, right? This is one of the reasons why I've suffered with my own, like body image because of this, because I was born with this thing, with these things, right? One of the things that I had to learn, and I still haven't fully learned it, but one of the things that I've had to learn growing up is this thing that my friends or family, people would tell me, people who knew about this stuff. There are people who can't move their arms at all. There are people who don't have arms at all. Whether they were born that way, whether they ended up in a situation that costed them their arms. Some of them have arms and can't move them, paralyzed, right? It's something that my parents would throw at me all the time. Anytime I cried about my deformity. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest, they're not wrong. There's people who would give anything to be able to use their arms. I can at least use them. Yeah, I'm not, I don't like the way they look, but I can feed myself. You know what I mean? I could work. Sometimes it hurts a little more than other times, but I can work. I can play my guitar. Yeah, I cover it up with long sleeves, but don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, you know what I mean? Honestly, when I was poor and just had my family and more family things going, I liked it more and just making memories even when we didn't have shit. Exactly. I'm telling you, bro. My brother last year, him and his girlfriend and her family went to Mexico to visit her family down there. And my brother had a little bit of culture shock. They didn't have Wi-Fi down there. They didn't have Wi-Fi in the parts of Mexico that my brother went to. Those guys, the people that he went to go spend time with, lived on a farm. A Mexican farm. They didn't have proper showers. Or bathrooms even. They didn't have AC units. Right? But he said, he tells me, he could not believe how happy those people were. He said those people would wake up and you could see the genuine happiness that they had being with their family on their land in their ordinary normal lives. They were happy. He said eventually he grew into it. His girlfriend's younger sister was not happy because she didn't have Wi-Fi. But him and his girlfriend learned a new appreciation for what it meant to just be able to wake up and live in the moment. It was funny. It was funny to hear him say that because I went to go pick him up when he came back. So it's that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I guess the more humble you are, the more appreciative you are. And maybe, you know where, now that I'm talking about this verbally, like out loud to you guys or whoever, to the void, right? Me saying all of this makes me understand that one of the reasons why I'm so unsatisfied is because I want it all. Now I see one of the reasons why I can be ungrateful, because I want it all. I want the world. To the void, LMAO, yes. Sometimes I get on here just to talk to myself, Blue. You really, you guys don't understand. You sound like me, yeah. You guys don't understand. Even if there's nobody watching my stream, I sit here to let myself talk. Not necessarily to hear myself talk, but to let myself talk. Because sometimes I feel like I have nobody I can talk to. So, yes, I'll sit here and just shout things at the void. And maybe I'll hear a voice back and maybe I won't. But at least I sent my message. You know what I mean? The message in a bottle kind of thing. Like the song where he says he sent his message over and over again, and then, you know, finally he washes up to shore and finds that all of his bottles are still just sitting there on the shore. And no one ever got them. That's what that song's about. But yes, one of the reasons why I struggle, you know, being happy is because I want so much. I want so much more out of me. You know what I mean? I'm unsatisfied, right? I was saying it earlier. I feel like people sleep on me, right? I feel like people don't look at me like the way I want to be looked at. You know what I mean? So what's happening to me? My little villain arc. You know what I mean? Like I said, if people don't think much of me, then just wait till I get my hands on fucking everything. And when I do, you can't not acknowledge me. I'm here. You know what I mean? So yes, that's one of the reasons why I can't be grateful, because I'm so obsessed with getting my hands on things that don't belong to me. You know what I mean? I want to be filthy fucking rich. I want to have a fucking mansion. You know, I want the cars that I dream of. I want the adventures that I hope for, and the lives that I wish to live. You know what I mean? I want to be a fucking rock star. So why am I not happy? Because I don't have any of those things. Right? I want to be acknowledged. I want to be credited. You know what I mean? I want to be recognized. Not just as a celebrity but like, I want to be recognized for who I am. I can be talented. I can be smart. I can be worth wasting your time on. That's why I can't be happy, because I don't have that. And that's my downfall. It's that those are the reasons why I find myself spiraling, or feeling depressed, or feeling unsatisfied. You know what I mean? Because I want stuff that I don't have instead of being grateful for what I do have. That's something I need to work on. Maybe that's something all of us need to work on. I'm so obsessed with money, low-key. Money is my only motivation right now. I told myself I will be happy when I'm comfortable or make six figures. It's like you are making that And I'm like, well, you know, if I did this, I can make 7 figures. Like I'm on an endless chase. Yeah, exactly. Mac Miller has a song that says something like that. It's either called Grandkids or Millionaire, something like that. Yes, he has a song that refers to something like that. And yes, it's never ending, Blue. It's never ending. Like I said, look at me today. Today I wanted this good score so badly. And I got it. And what happened? I got my good grade, I got my good score, and I'm still unhappy. I got a good score and finished the overall semester with a B, and for some reason I feel like fucking hanging myself. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to laugh, but I'm being honest. So what did that really get me? It's never ending. As long as we're chasing after something, we'll never get there. I think we just need to stop running so hard. Also, that can be because I dream big and the people around me, they're like, we are all make 7 figures. If you stick with us, we can make you a millionaire in your mid-20s. Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing is, at that point, you're a product of your environment, and that's okay. Again, it's not a bad thing to have goals. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing to be inspired or motivated. Even if your motivation is money, at least you have something you want to work towards. The problem happens when it starts to become unhealthy, or you start to become neglectful of your health, of your mental well-being. You know what I mean? When you start to throw things away for something that's materialistic, or maybe not as important as you think it is, right? What's the point of making 7 figures if when you make it, you find yourself sick? You know what I mean? Like the people at work. What's the point of working 90 hours if when you're done working 90 hours, you can't get out of bed on the weekends? You know, is it really worth sacrificing ourselves for something like this? You have every right to. You know what I mean? You can go crazy chasing the money, of course. But if you lose yourself in the process, what was it all for? And that's where I find myself too. Actually, yeah, I think I relate to you there, Blue. What are we doing it all for if we can't enjoy it? I don't know. It's weird to go around my family who was just a kid who was shy and scared to even order food for myself, and my brother was this kid who was going to college to become a lawyer. You're the youngest, right? I think you said that, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I mean, look, I was when I was in middle school, when I believe I was going to Scott, when I started going to Scott, bro, it was ever since then that I was in middle school that I think my depression started growing, right? That was the first time I started experiencing that feeling. There's a word for it. You can look it up and get the proper definition, but there's a word called apathetic. There's also a word called jaded. But I realized that as I was, you know, in middle school, started middle school and this or that, something happened to me that kind of just, for whatever reason, just started taking the soul out of me. Like I genuinely felt like for a lot of those years, I felt lifeless. I don't know if it's because I started seeing the world for what it was, or I started realizing and understanding things that were just too dark for me, someone at my age, to start understanding. But something started draining the life out of me. And it was that early on in my life that I started feeling like I didn't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this thing called life. And unfortunately, that part of me is still a part of me. To this day, that 14, 15, 16-year-old me is still within me. And those thoughts that kid had are still in my head. It's like a dark moment in my time that just kind of got froze and locked within me. And to this point, that thing is still trying to achieve what he's been set out to achieve from those times. The bad things, the bad ideas that pop up in my head. He's not a very nice kid, is he? It's a me versus me kind of situation. Mom still doesn't know I own houses and condos and shit. I think she thinks I do their bookkeeping or something for them. No way. Yeah. But again, you know, if you know what you're doing and this or that or whatever, it's not everyone's business, not even your mom's business to have to know you know, all of that, right? You're an adult. You know what I mean? If you wanna enlighten her on your situation, then you can do so. If she doesn't understand that, you know, you can try to help her understand, but ultimately, as long as you know what you're doing and why you're doing it for and stuff, that's all that matters. Something that I started having a bad habit right now that I have is like, I'm just floating around, and sometimes I hope people mess with me so I can just snap on them or just want to beat on someone. See, okay, so that's something that I used to deal with when I was younger. I used to have anger issues. And maybe you guys might, I don't know if you'll believe that or not, but when I tell you I used to be a hothead, bro, yeah. I don't know if there was a day where I wasn't getting angry. But I was seriously just a fucking hothead. I loved violence. You know, it's one of those things that for whatever reason, it would excite me. Being able to get angry and flirt with violence. You know what I mean? I used to be such a hothead. You know, and I'm not proud of that. I mean it. I'm actually not proud of that. To a point, it's almost kind of stupid to be that way. Because you have to think about, especially for like, you know, for someone like you, for example, you're growing up, you are now at the age where if you happen to do something stupid, right? Or something irreparable, right? You can pay a lot for letting your emotions get out of control. You could end up paying with your life. You know, for not being able to control your emotions, right? I believe since you were 17, 16, you can be tried as an adult. So if ever your emotions spill over and you happen to be caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? You can end up paying big time for your mistakes. People get locked up at a young age and lose many years of their lives for something that they could have done had they learned how to control their emotions. So you have to understand, it's not like in school where you could pick a fight and just get suspended, right? Or get a slap on the wrist, or whatever, serve detention and be forgiven for your mistakes. You know what I mean? You are now at an age where any type of stupid outburst can cost you a lot. It can cost you your job. It can cost you your opportunities. It can cost you your freedom. You have to learn to control your emotions. You have to. Unless you're okay with the idea of you possibly throwing things away for the sake of an outburst, you have to learn to control your emotions. You really have no choice. Not if you want to continue being free. I'm sure you have friends that are locked up. Take it from me, who has cousins who can't fucking control their emotions and ended up jumping and beating up police officers, and now both of my cousins are fucking incarcerated for choosing violence. And they're younger than me. They lived with me. They grew up with me. You know what's crazy? Their dad was incarcerated, my uncle. There was a moment where we didn't get to see him anymore because he got locked up. Years and years and years and years passed, and he was finally set free. And I finally got to see my uncle again. Now, to me, he's the cool uncle, you know what I mean? But man, did it feel like forever before we got to see him again. And now, I hate exemplifying people, but now look, his children are following in the same footsteps the same path he took. Unfortunately, and I hate that. It breaks my heart to know that my cousins are locked up. It's a dysfunctional family, this one that I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like, I will put up with your bullshit and stuff, but when you push me, I will beat on you. But if you see I getting beat on, I will jump in and stop whatever is. Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's one of those things where you really, really have to assess your situation. You can't just act on impulse, not as an adult. Yeah, it can get pretty costly not having control over your emotions. It's basic intellectual maturity. You know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Now, different situations might call for different responses, but at the end of the day, there are laws, there are regulations. You have to be able to, find the best resolution for certain situations, and that's all that comes down to. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Like I said, you said it's your birthday today, and I'm glad you're hanging out here for a little bit. And hopefully, if you take anything from this conversation, Blue, I hope you understand that, man, you are doing awesome, right? Regardless of your situation, right? For better or worse, right? Regardless of how you feel about family and stuff like that, you are doing great. You're doing your best, and that's all that matters, Blue. And today you're 19 years old, and you have come a long way, and you've got a lot more to go. right? And you know, like I said, I genuinely wish you lots of growth, and you know, just stay locked in, bro. You know, you've already achieved many things. You can achieve so many more things, right? And ultimately, I hope you reach happiness. But you're doing fine, right? Don't ever feel like you're not doing enough. You're killing it. You're actually killing it, and I'm happy to see that. If it means anything, I'm proud of you. I am. It's gonna be okay. I don't really have anything to do besides going to the Posty concert later. You're going to a concert tonight? Whoa. I've been dying to go to a concert. I really, really want to go see Keshi. One of your, yeah, I know he's one of your favorites. I've been listening to a lot of Keshi. He's actually from Texas. Maybe you've heard of him, but he's on tour and he's coming to Chicago in July, I believe it is. But I can't convince my friends to go with me. Nice, yeah, it's nice if I could go, or if I didn't have to go by myself. Damn, yeah, I know. We be broke. I understand. But yeah, I'd really like to go to his concert. But maybe I'll be a little more comfortable doing things by myself when the show comes up. I just hope I can get a ticket in time. But I just go by myself. Yeah, I don't really have anybody to go with me now. When I when I was with my ex, because he was already announcing his tour and stuff a while ago. So you know, my ex was telling me that she would go with me. Like, I don't really know his music and stuff like that, but she's like, I'll go with you. And so we were already planning for her to like request a day off and things we could do when we go out there and stuff. And like I was so close to just sending it and actually buying the tickets for me and her. But you know, obviously we're not together anymore, so I guess I lucked out not buying the tickets yet. I'd have an extra ticket. But yeah, I don't have my +1 anymore, so yeah, it's and like I said, I can't convince my friends to go, so yeah, it just kind of sucks. But you know, like I said, I might just go by myself. You have a lot of iron. I do. I have a multiply. I have Fortune 3, so yeah, it just kind of the fact that you noticed is funny. I'm kind of just moving around. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing in the game. If you haven't noticed, I think I've just kind of been going back and forth. But yeah. What was I looking for? I don't remember. Go out with one of the girls who was looking at you at work? No. No, I'm okay. I'll pass on that. Oh, that's right. I need more birch. LMAO, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I had a genuine interest with somebody, But like I said, they've kind of been acting funny to me, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm definitely not going to accept it, whatever it is. They're not what I want. Even if it's just like playful thing or in the moment thing, like obviously it doesn't have to be anything serious, but they're just not what I want. I'm not interested in those girls. So yeah, I'm kind of just not giving them the time of day. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to like not be that way anymore. I don't want to just keep messing with girls and going back and forth and stuff. I've already made a mistake recently. This situation I'm not going to talk about. Only one person knows about the situation, but I've already messed things up. And I feel like shit for it, to be honest, but yeah, it's just something, I guess. But yeah, I the only thing I could no fan squirrels for Tony. Yeah, no fan squirrels. The only thing I could hope for is, just finding somebody who actually just, vibes with me and likes me for me or something, or like just genuinely has a connection with me. But yeah, I obviously haven't found that, so yeah, I'm just gonna stick to myself, you know what I mean? Uh there's no girls in the picture. So, and it might be like that for a while, because I don't tend to meet new people often, so yeah, it is what it is. I guess I guess I'm kind of at a point where I'm just, not even worried about finding something, because I'm just accepting that it's never gonna happen. So it's all good. Plus, I'm damaged goods anyway, so yeah, it's best for people not have to deal with me or something. I'm damaged property. I swear the sun sets so fast in this game. I keep having to go to sleep. Like, the night comes around so much faster than the day does. Hmm. I got stuck. How to get back? How to get back? Oh, I shared this with my friends. No one really said anything, I think. But my favorite band, you guys, my favorite band, 3 Days Grace, just put out a new song last night. I saw on their Instagram story that they were saying that they were gonna release a new song Friday, and as soon as it turned midnight, I was at work. I was like, oh, the song is out. So I remembered, and I searched up the band, and sure enough, the song had released at midnight. So I'm like, oh shit, they're actually putting out new music. My favorite singer's back in the band. He is. And yeah, I got a little excited, so I shared it with my friends. But like I said, they didn't really say anything about it. But I think if they announce a tour for their album that is coming out later this year, even if I had to go by myself, I'm going. I don't care. I'm gonna go to see 3 Days Grace. I'm like, if I can't get married or keep a girl, I'm just going to keep putting in work, have friends with benefits. Yeah. And and obviously, you do what you got to do, but I'm kind of learning my lesson about friends with benefits kind of thing. So yeah, even that I'm a little like, no, I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm kind of just I I really do think I'm probably this is funny. I'm just gonna pull myself off the market, I guess. And yeah, I'm just gonna really work on convincing myself that I just don't want anything right now. Um, yeah, it's gonna take someone very special to get that out of me again. But yeah, it's gonna be a long time before I even consider the idea of being with somebody ever again. It is what it is, you know. Oh well. Uh, nice. How did you like it? I love it. It's playing right now. I'm actually gonna have it on repeat for the rest of the stream. But I love it. It sounds so good, and I'm so excited for the album. You have no idea. I grew up with these guys. Like 3 Days Grace was my obsession. I learned a lot of their songs on guitar early, and their message and the singer and you know what he went through and his his messages and when he had to go to rehab and all of that stuff. It really left an impression on me as a younger listener. So his messages, like, they speak to me. So like songs like this are everything. So I love this band with yeah I love this band so much. They have a song called Never Too Late, and when I was a teen, that was the song that would help me get through the night. You know what I mean? So yeah, this band is a lot for me. So yeah. Last night, boys dropped a new song, and they haven't dropped in a minute. So I was happy. Oh no, wait. Well, yeah. I mean, usually there's gonna be a lot of new releases on Friday. That's when record labels like to release music. Um, it's Friday, so yeah, I know there's gonna be several different drops today. But yeah, I cannot wait for these guys to announce a full album tour. Um, yeah, I don't care. I don't care if I go by myself for this one, but I will go to see this one. I will go see 3 Days Grace. I love this band. I hope I'm such a big fan of this band. Like, obviously I want to meet all my idols, but bro, if I could one day meet the singer Adam, oh my god, I think I might actually be fucking starstruck if I ever got to see him in person. Sounds weird. Sounds kind of like I'm a crazy fanboy, but no, it's just like these guys are just awesome. You know what I mean? Like I love this band. So yeah, I might be speechless if I ever get to meet the singer or even just the members of the band. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say. I'd probably, bro, I'd be one of those fanboys that I'd faint. To be honest, they're just they're just so cool. You know what I mean? Like like I said, I idolize these fucking guys. You know what I mean? Like they're just fucking awesome. So if I do end up being laid off for a while, next week I just finished the semester today, so or no, tomorrow technically is when my semester is officially over. But I've done all my assignments, so yeah, I'm done with the semester basically. But since I have a week off, I'm gonna try to. I'm not really sharing this with too many people, and I guess it doesn't really matter because no one really cares about me. But I'm working on an album. I'm working on. I want to make my debut album finally, because I feel like I have a lot to say now. But yeah, if we're off for a while, I really really want to lock in and like start writing a lot of music. And I finally want to put my first album together. So yeah, if I do happen to have free time, yeah, I'm really gonna try to make my album. I was about to ask, when you are off, are you going to work on your album? Yeah, absolutely. If I am lucky enough, yes, 100%. Who is this? Who is Blue Me? Blue is a viewer from he's in Texas. Blue used to stop by when, like, years ago, like when I was in my mom's basement type shit. You know what I mean? Blue has been in the audience for a long time now. It's his birthday today too. Yeah, in my mom's basement is when you discovered me playing Fortnite with OJ and Josh. But yeah, man, I'm excited to make my album, and I really want to make a good album. That's when I was in my mom's basement also. Yeah, we were both just some fucking losers living with mom. I'm just playing, but yeah, I really want to make a good album. Like I seriously want people to finally listen to me. You know what I mean? Like my music. So I'm going to put a lot of effort into making this album, and I really hope people love it. I'm not going to release it until I feel like I'm proud of it. So yeah, I'm excited to really get to work on it. And yeah, man, I seriously hope people love it. This might be the one, guys. This might be the one that finally puts me on the map. My album. I'm going to work so hard on it. I'm telling you. I'm going to work really hard on it. And the pressure's on too. I'm definitely feeling pressure to do well. But yes, I will give it my all. Even if I have to lock myself away. Yes, I'm going to do my best. So you let me tap that real quick? What? Tap what? What? Yo, what? Chat, what do you think about this guy coming into here and just asking if he could tap that real quick? What does that even mean, chat? Santi said that, not me. What? What do you mean, Santi? Are you with Santi right now? When did I get this lead? Don't tell me I accidentally released the horse. What are you up to right now, Cody? Cody. I'm sorry. Apologies. Cooking tacos? Again? Yeah. Actually, just had tacos today at work. My team lead fed me. He's like, "Hey, I've got Puerto Rican rice if you want to come by and get some." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually pretty hungry." So I went and he's like, "Hey, so I got tortillas and steak if you want some." I'm like, I never really ate steak before, but yeah, I'll try some. So he's like, "You can have all of it." I'm like, "Okay." So he gave me some tortillas and the steak, and I grabbed some Puerto Rican rice, and I actually got to eat. I got to eat at work, so. You said you never had steak? No, I've never had steak. Like actual steak? No, I've never had steak. No tacos? No. Steak tacos? No. When I eat tacos, I only eat like ground beef or like the it's called picadillo. I only eat that in my tacos. I'm picky. What? Yeah. Yeah, I've never had steak. I've never had definitely have never had an actual steak because this was like this steak was like chopped up and stuff. So I've never had an actual. I don't even know what they're called, but like a full size steak thing. I've never had it. We never ate it growing up. Um, and I've never had a reason to try steak, actual steak. I always thought that was like country shit. That's what I use to make my tacos, yerjacos. Yeah. No, I just use like ground beef and like ground beef and cheese and cream, and that's really all I eat on my tacos. Tony's scared of real meat, you sicko. I am actually. Yeah. Sorry. Cody, give him some. No, I already ate tacos. I don't want to eat more tacos. I'm trying to watch my weight. Remember? So, when I ate tacos at work, I only ate two. I made two, and that was it. I'm trying to lose weight. I really am trying. I've been working out, guys. I've actually been working out, and I cut the sugar down, and I'm trying to lose weight, and maybe somebody will notice me, senpai. Maybe if I look good, somebody might want me. Yeah. So I'm gonna try. I'm trying to make myself less ugly. What's your favorite song that you made? That's a good question. Oh, that's actually a really good question because I don't know what my favorite song is that I've made. Let's see. What do I have in the collection? What do I have released? Dear ex-girlfriend, it's a recent song I put out, but I feel like I was able to explore a part of my voice that I don't often get to use, and I feel like I was able to use it somewhat tastefully. In terms of favorite songs, like my favorite song, there's a couple that I'm proud of. So most people don't know I have a song called "It Hurts to Say," and that song was actually a cry to Jesus kind of song. So people, you could apply anything you want to it, but when I wrote that song, I wrote it as if I was talking to God. So that's a song that maybe it doesn't necessarily sound the best, but it's a song that I'm proud of. Yeah. Here, I'll try to be quick about it, but I my lyrics, and they're not even anything profound or anything, but like the lyrics for that song say, I know I said I don't care, I know I said I'm not there, I said it like it's all right, it's not all right, it's not all right. I fake it when I smile, I fake it when I'm laughing, I fake it when I'm happy, I fake it all. I was running, hiding, masking the pain, I was crying, breaking myself away. I know I'm denying the fact that I need help, but I know you know I'm hurt, and you know it hurts to say I need you now. I wrote this. I wrote this. I gotta see how long ago I wrote this, but yeah, I keep saying I need you now. 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 I never thought I never thought being strong meant that I'd need someone to keep me from falling apart. To hold me down, you hold me down. I'm thankful you're always there. I'm grateful you always cared. What would I be without you around? Maybe I don't see it when I'm so blind with anger and heartbreak. No sunlight. But you're always standing right next to me. Because you know it hurts to say that I need you now. And so I wrote that years and years ago. This song was the remake. This because if you guys find it online, it's the remake. So I wrote this. The remake was released in 2018. I had written this before 2018. So I was in middle school when I wrote this song. But that was my song. When I wrote that, it felt like I was trying to talk to God. And so all the words that I just said was basically me having a conversation with God, saying, I need you. It hurts to say it, but I need you. Please help me, kind of thing. My other favorite song that I wrote, is probably I just saw it here. Oh, A Peasant's Fantasy. In 2021, I was living in an apartment with Danielle OJ. Mini Bulldozer is how you guys know her on in chat. I used to stay at an apartment with her. When I was in that apartment, I wrote the song called "A Peasant's Fantasy," and this one's kind of straightforward too. But here's the lyrics. I don't know why I'm feeling down. I'm feeling down. Can I get away from here, get away from. Every day I fantasize about the day that I'm king. I will be a king one day. I will be a king one day. I will rise, I will rise. Um, and I repeat that again. But I made it that way on purpose because I wanted to keep saying I will rise, I will be a king. I will rise, I will be a king one day. And then at the very end, I start saying, I will rise, I will peasant's fantasy, a peasant's fantasy, a peasant's fantasy, rise, I will rise. And what that means to me, obviously, right? I know I'm nobody. I know I'm not important. I know I'm nothing. Um, but one day I will be a king, and I will rise. I have two favorite songs by you. They were kind of back in the old days, though. Yeah, I mean, I think you know pretty much a lot of my older stuff. Which ones are they, Blue? It's a poem. Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know how I write some of these songs. Like some of them actually just spill out of me, kind of thing. I don't consider myself a good songwriter, but yeah, I do. I love when I can just put a song together in minutes. I still remember the apartment. Yeah, yeah. See, you've been here for a while, but yeah, yeah. Those are some of my favorite songs. Dear Ex Girlfriend, Peasant's Fantasy, and uh, It Hurts to Say. Another maybe some of my close considerations are like I really like My Wasted Life and Starting Over. And then other mentionable ones would be like Hey Mom, I thought about you, or I think that's what I called it. Hey Mom, I was just thinking about you. And what's the other one? Uh Something about Off the Edge, or yeah, something like that. Oh, Drive My Car Off the Edge. I like that one because I was able to kind of express my my mental instability in that song. If you listen to it, it's meant to sound like I'm in my head, like I'm struggling in my head. So it's supposed to be two different versions of me talking to myself. And one of them is like trying to ask for help, and the other one's saying, "No, I don't need help. Fuck off," kind of thing. And like it's bad me versus good me, or helpless me kind of thing. The favorite one is Keep on Holding On. Keep on Holding On. I've had a few people from school say they like that one. And No Worries is a super simple song, but something about it is good. Yeah, No Worries is actually the very first song I ever released as myself. So that's crazy. That's crazy that you picked the very first song. But yeah, No Worries was fun. I remember having a lot of fun producing that one, or writing that one. It was actually heavily influenced by, at the time, Camila Cabello had a song out called Havana, and I really like the instrumentals of that song. So if you listen to Havana and then you listen to No Worries, the production is inspired by Havana. It's influenced by Havana. I think a lot of people might not even realize that, or that I even used to listen to that song. But yeah, that was a really good song in my opinion. So it's low key cool. Yeah, yeah. It's got it's supposed to have that slight there's a 808 in it, right? And it's got that kind of it's not halftime beat, but it's, you know, it's laid back kind of thing, and it hits, you know. So I was influenced by the instrumental of Camila Cabello's song. Keep on Holding On is low-key good as well. Yeah, it is a good song. Every now and then I'll play and I'm like, this was good. Another one of my favorites, just it's silly, but She Only Likes. That's OJ's favorite song. Danielle loves that song. She knows that song word for word. When I was at the apartment, she would always sing it to me. I'd have to put up with her singing the song to me. Her girlfriend used to know it too. So yeah, it's obviously it's the most flattering thing when people actually comment on my music and stuff. I'm telling you, not many things make me feel too good, but when people talk about my music and people compliment my music, oh my god, you guys seriously have no idea what that does to me. It means the world to me when people talk about my music. It's the one thing that puts a sparkle in my eye. I promise you it does. It's all I could ever dream of, you know, is people acknowledging my music, you know. So yeah, it means the world to me when people talk about my music. Emojis. I don't know if Cody's still in here, but Cody, when I released Starting Over, apparently Cody used to listen to it over and over and over again. I don't know how true that is, but even if it's not true, you know, just the idea of, you know, like my best friend liking, like actually liking my music, it's just so cool. You know what I mean? And yeah, that song is very special to me too. So. But when we talk about music in front of you, you suddenly hate it. Explain. I'm shy. Look, when I show people my music or when they ask me for it, I don't want to be in the same room when you listen to it. My band knows that. My band, they hated it when I would do that. They would always laugh when I would do that, but I would play it and I would run out the room. They actually tried to trap me in the room so that I couldn't escape. But I just can't sit there and watch people's reaction to it. I'll come back in whenever the song is over, but I really don't know how else to say it. Like I'm just shy about it. That's all. Don't laugh at me. Call me a pussy, I don't care. I'm just shy. That's it. It's like my music is easily my like I guess the most intimate part of me. You know, it's a way for people to get a glimpse inside of what goes on in my head. So, you know, it's hard for me to watch people react to it. You give the vibes that you want to delete everything and burn it all off the planet. Well, yeah, because I can only hope that it's good for you guys to listen to. You know what I mean? Like the quality that it sounds good. Like you know, when people like if it's bad, if the song is bad, I'd be embarrassed to watch you guys be like, you know, make a strange face and be like, yeah, that was good, right? Like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be disappointed with people's reactions. And so if I ever like when I get like that where I'm like, no, like, you know, delete everything or whatever, it's because I'm worried it's not good enough still. And that's kind of, to be honest, it's I will sit here and say that my music actually does fucking suck, because it could always be so much better and so much more pleasing for you guys to listen to. But unfortunately, I do everything. So, you know, I write the songs, I record the songs, I mix the songs, you know, everything you hear about the song is all me. And that's not a good thing. So, yeah, that's where that comes from. Is I just, you know, I wish it was better, and that way you guys could have something good to listen to. So yeah, when I want to burn the world and delete everything, it's because I just wish the song was really, you know, that much better and, you know, good enough for everyone else to listen to. I just want to be good, and I want people to appreciate what I do, and my music is my life. So, yeah, I just want to be good enough. Not even just good enough. I want to be great, and I hope one day people can see that. So yeah, if I don't like being, but it's no different than, you know, my situation with pictures. You know what I mean? Like I'm ugly, so it's not good enough for me to be in pictures. So I don't really like when people take pictures of me. That kind of thing. I swear I need to make a country song. Yeah, you do. You really do. Yeah. Oh God, where did the time go? It's already past 1. Oh fuck. I probably should start wrapping up, even though it's literally the last day of the week. Oh no. I've got so much glass. Where to put? That's what makes me the mightiest onion. You have the ugly too? No, you don't. You don't have the ugly. Unfortunately for me, I'm easily the ugly friend of the group. You know when they say people like to hear, like surround themselves with ugly people so that they can be the best looking one. I'm the ugly friend. Like literally everyone in the group is so good looking. Like you got Cody who's a handsome boy, tall, good looking, skinny, you know, just all around a good looking guy, you know what I mean? You got Alex who's tall, good looking, long hair, long luscious hair, right? You got Listen who's probably easily one of the better looking one out of everybody, to be honest. So there's not like that's not even like Listen's like way out of our league. If you guys have seen Ashley dressed up, Ashley can get dressed up. She's, you know, she can definitely get herself together. Santana's a good looking guy. He's just short, but you know, that's okay. You know. Yeah, I think I'm just easily I'm easily just the ugly guy, and I'm the ugly one. Unfortunately, I'm the ugly one of the group. You know that guy when this is a meme. That guy when you go to the party and like he's trying to holler at a girl, so he sends his friend, and the friend says, "Hey, hey, what's up with you? My guy over there wants to holler at you," and then like it shows the guy in the background. Like, that's me. I'm that guy. I'm the ugly guy in the background. I go, God, like I don't even want to. I don't even want to exist sometimes. I'm so ugly. I could cook all of this, but yeah, I'll save that for later. Gunpowder. I was thinking like, damn, you have been streaming for a minute now. I didn't know if you were going to stream all day or something. No, I kind of just after the exam, I'm my brain is melted. So that's what that is. Yeah. But like I said, I will say it again, guys. I'm trying to make an effort. Believe me, I'm trying to make an effort. I'm cutting sugar out, and I'm working out, and I'm gonna try to polish myself up. I'm gonna try to I don't know. I'm trying to make myself maybe someone will like me. That's all. Right now it doesn't matter because I'm not really. I guess I'm not in a place where stuff like that matters. But I don't want to be ugly anymore. So I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Believe me. And I hope I can share the results someday. Someday I'll be good enough for somebody. So yeah. If you need food suggestions or even workout plans or splits, let me know if I can help with that. Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, if I'll take any advice I can get. Yeah. Uh, mm, yeah. Whenever you have something that you can share or something like that, if you want to message me on Twitch or whatever, I'll look into it. But I'm trying though. I'm trying. I will be working on it. Yeah. One day, guys. One day. I'll be enough for somebody. So, yes. Bet. Yes. Bet. Thank you. Thank you for if you share something with me. Yeah. But yeah. I'm probably not gonna go to sleep yet because I'm in my head again. But I'm probably gonna call it here for the stream. So yeah, it was nice hanging out though. And yeah, I'm glad my semester's finally over. And it was it was a good conversation. I'm glad we had this conversation because I was able to let some things off my chest. So you are enough for us and everyone around you. Stay safe. All of one day, Blue. One day I'll be enough for everybody. But yes, you too. Happy birthday again, Blue. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't get yourself in trouble. Stay safe as well. Don't party too hard. Enjoy the Posty concert. And Alex, I'll talk to you whenever you feel like talking to me. And yeah, like I said, I'm probably just gonna maybe I'll just watch some more anime while hopefully I get sleepy or something. But I'm not really ready for bed quite yet. So yeah, I'll just be hanging around my house and stuff. So yeah, guys, I'll see you on the next stream, whenever that is. Maybe I'll stream all next week since I'll be laid off. But yes, I'll see you guys next time. Okay, thanks for hanging out, and hopefully everyone has a good day. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I'll see you guys whenever. Bye.